Good morning. Happy coffee talk. It's Thursday morning. I can't even tell you if it's gray outside because it's still dark. It's 7:27 and it's still dark. Wah, wah. But yesterday, my son and I noticed that it actually is not dark at 5 o'clock, which is new because for a little while there, it was getting dark at 4 o'clock. It was getting light at 8 and dark at 4. And I'm not complaining for the people who live in Alaska and the Arctic. I know it's dark all winter, but here this feels like a lot of darkness. So I celebrate the light when it's in last night, the sunset. Oh my gosh. So go look at my Instagram story. It was I think it was probably top 3 ever. I mean, it was the most unbelievable sunset. So, just a magical, like pink and purple, and the sky lit up like it was on fire. It was so bright that it was reflecting off everything. So it turned everything like this pink purple color. It was really, really amazing. So let's get right to a coffee talk message this morning, and then I'll share my coffee with you at the end. I've only had a little bit of coffee so far this morning. So sometimes when I do coffee talk, I'm like 3 or 4 cups in. Today, I'm like 2 sips in. You guys are the very first thing that I'm doing this morning is doing coffee talk. So I wanted to share a return actually to a topic from a couple of days ago. So last week I shared that I was kind of overhauling my morning routine. And I made a little widget on my phone. I thought about what do I want to have to happen in my morning to set me on the course for a good day. I made a little routine on my phone, and I have thought about it and done it most days. And so the reason that I'm bringing this up as a coffee talk message, one, if you didn't listen to that episode, go back and check it out. It's very helpful. At least even me talking through it for myself was helpful. However, what I want to bring up today, here we are, a week and a half later, is I'm returning to that commitment. This is the thing that we don't love to do. Making the commitments are always really fun. Returning to them a week plus, 10 days later or so, that's less fun because then you have to take account for if you did it or not. And a lot of times we don't do it. So then taking account or checking back in on it is just something that we end up not doing at all. So I wanted to model that for you guys. I wanted to show you what it looks like for me, so that you could look at for yourself. So my morning routine, this is what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to wake up at 6. I have time to make coffee and screw around for a half hour is what I gave myself. And then from 6:30 to 7, it's writing time. It gives me a chance to write emails, to write things that are in my head, blog articles, whatever. That's like creative window for me. And then coffee talk. So taking the time to do this every morning is in my morning routine. I like to do it before my house turns into chaos and while I'm still having my first cup or 2 of coffee. After that, a break for breakfast and filling my water bottle. So filling my water bottle and breakfast. So that's it. I mean, I didn't make anything incredibly complicated. And then I put in my morning routine, I just looked at my phone at 8 o'clock, a 30-minute walk and talk. So basically an intention of getting up and getting around, hitting my first 1,000 steps before the day even gets going. And, talking, usually I need to respond back to people, whether it's on DM or whatever, Facebook. So walk and talk is walk around / respond to people. So anyways, that's the morning routine I set for myself. Checking in with you right now for accountability. I have done some very close version of that, 80 to 90% most days. One day it was a total mess. Didn't hardly do it at all. And in fact, I don't even think I started it until 10 o'clock. A lot of days the times are not quite right. So I end up waking up a little bit later or I shift something somehow. But because I'm committed to it, and truly, not just because I put it on my phone. I mean, putting a little widget on your phone, that's fun, but that's not commitment. I'm actually committed to doing this morning routine. What's happened is it started to feel more like a game. When I wake up and I'm getting going, I know that there's things that I want to do, and they don't necessarily have to be in the perfect order. So oftentimes when I'm making my coffee, I go fill my water bottle because that's a part of my morning routine. And I feel like, yep, check that. This morning, because I'm heading out the door in a little while, I already had breakfast. Like I put it together, had it before I even popped onto Coffee Talk. And it felt good. I was like, okay, check that box. Breakfast done. Water bottle filled. So it's almost become a game. Like I know the things that I want to do in the morning, and they are starting to become more routine. I wouldn't say that they're easy yet. Even here we are, like almost a week and a half, 2 weeks in. I still have to be really intentional, or I will not fill my water bottle, or I'll skip breakfast, or I won't write. But it is getting easier. It's getting easier 10 days in. So anyways, I'm checking in with you on this. This was a commitment that I made to myself and shared with you out loud. And I'm checking in. Has it been perfect? No. Could it be better? Probably. The way that it could be better is I could probably wake up earlier because that gives me enough time to do it in order and to really not feel like I'm catching up on it. So that's probably the thing that I want to work on is actually waking up at 6. But that requires going to bed early. And I do that sometimes, but not all the time. So I think what I want you to think about is I promise that the accountability part is the harder part. It is. What commitments did you make? It's January, I don't know what day it is right now. January the 13th. January 13th. About 2 weeks into the new year. This is your opportunity to check in. No judgment. I'm a coach. I'm not here to judge. How are you doing with the commitments that you made to yourself? Have you stuck with them? Did you put them in a place where you could be reminded? Did you do them even though they didn't feel fun? Did you do some version of them just because you're committed to it? Or did you do it for a day or so and then it fell off and then you haven't touched it since? If so, this is your opportunity to pick it back up. I want to encourage you that an accountability check-in is not about it's not a show and tell of perfect. It's just that. It's an accountability check-in. So in fitme, for our coaching clients, we talk about that a lot. It's like when we get to have a coaching conversation, it doesn't mean that everything went perfect. In fact, just showing up to the coaching conversation, you're doing awesome because that's the touch point that can keep progress going, even if it's a little progress. If it's like this week went to crap, but I did X, Y, and Z, they were little, but you come to that accountability check-in, you're checking in on it. Well, then that gives you momentum because even those little tiny things and showing up to the check-in means that next week's going to be different. But skipping the check-in on it and pretending like we didn't really make those commitments, that's the part that gets all squirmy, where we feel that squirmy feeling of I never really made that commitment. It probably, everything didn't work out for me. So I really couldn't follow through. But that's not true. That is almost never true. It's just a matter of, are we actually committed to doing it? Is it a priority? Did we rearrange something to make it happen? Because you can't just do something, especially not if you already have a routine that fills that place. You can say, I'm committed to going to the gym 5 days a week. But if you already have something that fills that time after work or at the beginning of your day, that's going to be pretty darn difficult. So you have to rearrange your life to accommodate that commitment and then do it, even when you don't want to do it. That way it creates the new routine, the new habit. I'm not sure when this morning routine will become so easy that I'm like, I don't even need to tell you about it anymore because I just automatically do it. I wake up at 6, I have my coffee and fill my water. I do 30 minutes of writing. I do coffee talk. I have breakfast, and then I do 30 minutes of walking and talking. It just happens automatically. I'm not there yet. But checking in with you means that I'm a little bit closer to being there. So what do you need to check in on? That's my coffee talk question for you today. What could you use a little accountability check-in on? I am here for you. I would love for you to send me a message and be like, Christy, I heard your coffee talk and I'm just checking in on this. It hasn't gone exactly right, but I'm checking in because I want it to continue to move in the right direction. And I know that by having a little bit of accountability, that will help. So send me a message. Send me a DM on Instagram or a message on Facebook if you're listening to this in the Facebook group. I would love to hear, and I would love to be that accountability check-in coach for you. Because you guys are that for me. So thank you. I feel actually pretty pleased to check in with you, and I will do it again. We'll do it again in about a week and a half to 2 weeks and give you an update. And I'd love to hear yours too. We can make a whole momentum of people checking in with each other. And that's honestly what we do inside fitme. To be honest, we have these like small groups where everybody gets to check in and give each other positive feedback, and it's a non-judgmental place. That's kind of the key. But positive accountability is one of the most powerful tools. So if you're missing out on that one, I'm happy to do it with you, on these like surface issues. But if you're like, hey, I really need some positive accountability, I need to get deep on some stuff that I need to change, especially regarding nutrition, exercise, the way I treat myself, all that stuff. If that's you, well, then reach out, because then we can have a conversation about if we can help you at FitMe, if I can help you with that, because that's what we do. We give you a structure, a plan, positive accountability, and we help you get to what you want. So that is, I don't know, that's my favorite thing. That's why I'm a coach for a living. So reach out if you want to have a conversation, and we'll talk about you. We'll talk about your goals. We'll talk about how to get there. Either way, I'm going to point you in the right direction. How to get there, you're going to have clarity on that. I'm going to give you that on a phone call. And then if it makes sense, I'll give you information about what FitMe does and how we can help you. And if you need a referral, I'll refer you out to someone who I think is a good fit if we're not. So either way, it's a win-win to have the conversation. Nothing to lose. So shoot me a message and we'll have a phone conversation. So that's it. Thanks as always for plugging in for Coffee Talk. You heard me tell you yesterday, but we are doing signups for On Track. That's our 4-week group program. It starts on Monday. It's nutrition, it's workouts, it's accountability. We teach you the FitMe system. We do it with you. It's a live coached group, which means I coach inside there. Coach Lauren's in there. We've got a couple other FitMe coaches who are in there. That means it's a real deal. Like, you can make some big changes in 4 weeks. And build some momentum, and then take the FitMe method and then use it forever. You will learn it in those 4 weeks. So check it out, FitMe On Track, and I'll drop the link in the show notes, and I'll drop the link in the comments. And if you haven't done so, subscribe to FitMe Coffee Talk on your favorite podcast platform. I'm on all of them: Spotify, Downcast, iTunes, all of them. So go search for FitMe Coffee Talk and then subscribe. And if you are listening on the podcast and are not a part of our Facebook group, I know like Facebook is not always the best place to be, but there is one place you do want to be on Facebook, and that's the Fit Me Free community. So go to Facebook, search Fit Me Free community, request to join the group, and then I'll add you. We do daily accountability posts. It's very encouraging. People post ideas of their meal prep. It's a place for you to get some daily positive accountability, and that can be so helpful. So come there for that, and then learn some other good stuff while you're there. All right, guys, have a wonderful day. I will talk to you tomorrow. Take care. Bye.